this enormous, well, you can't see it, I'm about to show you, but I have this whole rig set up now for the camera that is pretty extravagant. We upgraded from a smartphone camera to what I'm filming on now, and I'm about to show you guys all the gear, but just want to see if we can get some sample footage of the little man looking all cute. How you doing, Big Shot? You doing good? Yeah, okay. As for me, this is the new and improved camera setup that is pretty crazy. I don't know if you can, well, how can you maybe see a little closer? You got obviously a handle over here that I'm holding it by. You got the microphone. You got a cage around the camera that allows you to mount all this crap on it. You got this little arm that goes up to the, what is the cell phone acting as a field monitor. I feel like there's the top handle as well. And then there's the new lens, the Sony 50mm f1.8. That's what's allowing us to get some of this nice crisp in focus, but the background nice and blurred out. I mean, look, if you just look at this tripod right here, or it's not a tripod, I guess it's my ring light. But see how the background is just blown out, nice and smooth blur? That's what you want. You want whatever's in focus to be nice and sharp, but the background to be destroyed. What can we go look at around here? Let's go look at this plant right here. So the thing that's different is this lens is a prime lens. It's not a zoom lens, so there is no zoom up. Or if you want to zoom up, you got to walk up. If you want to zoom out, you got to walk back. Hey, Big Shots, up and moving. What's up, little man? Little man, Big Shot, big boy. Where you going? Yeah, you got some bed stuff to do. You running some errands right now? Going back and forth from room to room? I actually have a huge day of errands to do that I'm gonna get started on pretty soon. It's only 8 o'clock in the morning, so pretty soon here I gotta pack up a cooler of beverages and hit the road. There's one potentially huge errand that I might do today. I saw a car on Facebook Marketplace that I would not mind checking out. Technically a truck, but I'm a little suspicious because the price seems really low. And you know, sometimes when things seem too good to be true, you should probably trust your gut. But I'm thinking about going and test driving it. Problem is, it's an hour away. So that's like a big commitment. 2 hours of my day to go test drive a car that I don't really need. My car works great. I love my car. But I have wanted a truck for a couple of years now. And this one appears to be a great deal. Like $10,000 below what it should be selling at. That's what makes me skeptical. I'm like, what's wrong with this thing? There's got to be something wrong with it. So I think we're probably going to go check that out. I got to return a lens that I'm not going to use. I got two of this same lens, one from eBay and one from Amazon. I need to go return the Amazon one. And I got to go to the gym, and I got to go get Gilbert some snacks at Walmart. And I got to do something else. I can't remember. So lots of errands to do today, but this has been, I think, a pretty productive field test of our new gear setup. I love it. Gilbert is looking amazing. Good afternoon, you guys. Welcome to another session of Happy Hour with your beloved, most humble host, Beholden To Truth. Some of you know me as Joshua. Pick your preferable name and we'll go with that. When I refer to myself in third person, it's probably Joshua, but Beholden To Truth is the name of my platform, the name of my activism and missionary work, the name of my family, you guys, my friends who I've accumulated over the course of a couple of years of building this platform, which is now, what, 7,000, almost 7,500 people strong on Instagram. Rumble is crawling through its infancy currently. We're trying to build up that platform, but we're up to a solid
192 followers, I think. We're just shy of 200. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's moving in the right direction. And frankly, it could be moving faster if I were doing more toward it. But listen, I got a lot of stuff going on, okay? Obviously, I have the new career, not the new career, but the new job in my career starting up in about a week and a half. And so I'm trying to get my life in order before I start having to devote 40 hours a week to the 9-to-5 grind again. So there's that. And what else is going on? I've been trying to fill out my house a little bit more, almost exclusively through secondhand shopping, Goodwill, thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, and so on. Bit of eBay. And third, I've been trying to polish my production game on all of this content. So what you guys are looking at right now is the fruits of that. Hopefully I'm in focus. I can't even tell. Am I in focus? It's hard to say. I hope I've been in focus this whole time. But, you know, I got this external Rode mic on the camera. The camera itself has this whole cage system so that you can mount stuff on it. And I got these new lenses. And actually just this morning, I picked up this lens that you're watching now. And it is a 7 Artisans prime lens. And it's a manual focus lens. That's why I'm not even sure if I'm in focus right here. It's hard to say because I can't be close enough to it. You know what? If I had my image edge going, I could probably see. Hold on. I wonder if it'll let me fire that up. Use this as my external monitor and dial in the focus. We can find out if that works. Turn Bluetooth off and see if we can connect to the phone here. I've never tried to connect while already recording. I might hit pause and see if I can boot this up. Yeah, don't send. Let's try to do that real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I got the external monitor set up. I think I'm in focus. And I'm feeling pretty pleased with myself. This is also tech savvy, you know. It's hot as hell in my car though, and I'm worried if I roll down the windows a little bit, a lot of that ambient noise might come in because of the more sensitive microphone. But we're gonna have to do that because it's just too fucking hot in here. There we go. So, you guys, I've talked many times about happy hour before on my channel. Happy hour is when we drive to the gym, but we don't go in the gym. We sit outside the gym in the car and we do something productive for at least an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. I've even been out here 2 hours before. But typically it involves Bible study, reading some other kind of Christian literature, historical literature, catching up on the current news cycle, catching up on social media content, or producing my own content. Sitting here with my iPad editing videos, recording vlogs, stuff like that. That's what goes on during happy hour. And the whole time, I sit here and I sip some kind of highly caffeinated beverage, usually a pre-workout. Sometimes it's a Monster, or Rockstar, or whatever. And this is multitasking. It's getting all the stuff I need in my body before the workout. It's getting my productivity done. Because it's most oftentimes related to my spiritual life, my Christian faith, I'm going through and reading the Bible. Like most of the reading of the Bible I have done has been sitting right here in my car. Like I actually prefer to sit here and read it. When I'm at home, there's too many distractions. You got Gilbert being cute. I got my laptop and computer and all this other stuff. So I like to just really focus. Like the happy hour is the 1 hour of the day that I have carved out for the productive stuff that has to get done every single day. And I bolt it onto my gym workout. And the bridge between them is sipping the pre-workout gets me caffeinated and ready for the workout, but it's also just part of me. I have to have a beverage while I'm doing everything. Like at all times in the day, I got to have some kind of beverage by my side. So it's like tying together a whole lot of the things that I like. I like being productive. I like reading the Bible. I like doing the social media stuff. I like going to the gym. I like having my beverages. But what you'll notice about all of those things is they are purpose driven. The thing I get out of all of them is becoming a more capable person, physically healthier, spiritually healthier, more educated, more aware of what's going on in the current news and everything. So it's like, first it's an hour in the happy hour in the car doing all this stuff, and then it's an hour in the gym doing all that stuff. 2 hours of my day, virtually every day, minimum 4 days a week, but oftentimes 5 or 6. This is how I stack up, like exponential layers of progress all happening simultaneously that put me way, way ahead of the rest of the population. That's not to sound arrogant, but I mean, how many people do you know are doing an hour of Bible study a day and hitting the gym for an hour a day and hitting their calorie and protein targets every day and managing a full-time career and growing their own social media platform? There's a lot going on, and it has to be intentional. Every single day, you have to be laying bricks toward each one of those things. And so you create a schedule and a cadence of activity, a recurring cadence of activity. This is how your day is supposed to be structured, and it's supposed to be pretty repetitive. If you're one of those people who thinks that life is supposed to be like some kind of spontaneous Hollywood movie adventure every single day, it's not how it works. That's not how highly successful people get to where they were. They get there by monotonous repetition that requires discipline to not abandon. When things do become monotonous, I mean, what number gym trip is this for me? 10 years at 250 gym trips per year. This is gym trip number like 2,500, something like that. It's not exciting. It's not like brand new. I don't even have any more muscle to gain, and I haven't for 5 years. But I know that staying at peak shape requires this consistency. So I do it. And staying aware of what's going on around us requires intentional time carved out to look at the news cycle, look at the different sources, look at what people are saying and how they're responding. And being familiar with the Word of God requires reading the Word of God and listening to other people's analysis of the Word of God, reading exegesis of the Bible, listening to apologetics debates, listening to other world religions and how they see the world. Listen to Islamic people, listen to Jewish people, listen to Hindu people, listen to pagans and atheists. Figure out how these people got so lost and what they need to get themselves out of that, obviously, to be reconnected with God, who is Jesus Christ and no other identity. So it's not like an overnight quick fix, but we know what the problem is. But in order to do that, you have to be compelling in your own faith. So you need to be reading the Word of God, and you need to be spending time in prayer and going to church and engaging in fellowship with all of your fellow Christians. So happy hour and the gym session, it's my investment so that I can do those other things. To do the missionary work and to do the activism work requires a lot of education, requires a lot of awareness of world events and historical events. Ooh. That C4 hitting hard. Look, I'll give you guys a tip right here. This is obviously a Gatorade bottle. I drink all the Gatorade, then I save the bottle to mix pre-workouts in. But pre-workouts, they can get kind of expensive. If you're going through 25 to 30 doses per month, that's a tub every month. And the cheap tubs are $25 or $30. If you want to get some of the nicer pre-workouts, then you might be looking at $40 or $50 for 30 servings. And so when you catch them on sale, you should stock up. That's number one. But the problem is when you stock up on pre-workout, this happened to me with this C4. I found it at Walmart for $7 a tub. $7 for a 30-serving tub of pre-workout. Now, granted, C4 is one of the lowest tiers of pre-workout, but frankly, as long as it has caffeine, beta-alanine, those are really like the only two ingredients I actually care about. I get enough creatine from supplementing that directly. I take creatine HCl in the morning every day, straight to the dome. And there's not many other things I really need in my pre-workout. But when you stock up, and what I did, I bought 4 tubs of this $7 C4 pre-workout because it was such a good deal. That's like 33% of what it normally is. It gets a little old. After you've had the same pre-workout flavor 5 days a week for 4 weeks in a row, it's like, okay, can we get a new flavor in the house? But you still got several months worth of pre-workout left. Here's the tip. 1, add a shot of lemon juice to your pre-workout. Gives it a nice acidic feel, a little bit more like real juice. 2, use those little Crystal Light flavor packets, or in my car, I keep these little Skittles flavor packets. You know what I'm talking about. Pick your flavor. This is how you change the flavor profile of a pre-workout you're tired of. These little sticks are maybe 10 or 20 cents a piece. So it's the most economic way to get some variety in your life and not get tired of that pre-workout that you snatched up on sale, which you should have done. That's the right thing to do. But I know it gets old. So I actually have a shot of lemon juice in here, and it's just C4 straight. I didn't use any flavor packets today. But it's like fruit punch flavor pre-workout with a shot of lemon juice. Makes it more like a lemonade fruit punch. It's really damn good. Just trust me. Go get the lemon juice. You can buy the Great Value brand. Don't buy anything expensive. And turn your pre-workout up a notch. Quite tasty indeed. I'm thinking about doing a stream tonight because there have been a number of subjects that I needed to comment on this week that I didn't stream about, but I did actually type out very long critiques of. The mayor in Birmingham, Alabama, which is a city 2 hours south of me, used to be the largest city in Alabama. It no longer is. But he's upset about DEI. Birmingham is a largely black city, by the way. It's similar to Atlanta. And the state, at a state level, has said that they're looking to get rid of these DEI mandates in schools and elsewhere. And the Birmingham mayor freaked out and said, oh man, if we get rid of these DEI mandates, then hopefully all those Alabama colleges, like Alabama's football team, for example, basketball team, and so on, hopefully they've thought about the implications of turning away or scaring off non-white athletes because they don't support diversity. It's like, you don't need to have mandated diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates in order to be aware that black people are good athletes, and if they perform well, then you put them on the team. That's actually how it currently works. The fact that Alabama's college football team is like 80% black, that actually isn't the result of the DEI mandates. That's the result of meritocracy. These black young men are extremely talented at football, especially as compared to their non-white counterparts. So the fact that Alabama's football team is 80% black, I actually don't really care that much. I don't care about the NFL being overwhelmingly black. I don't care about the National Basketball Association being overwhelmingly black. Black people excel at these sports, obviously more so than whites or other people. And if all you care about is watching the best game possible, the best athletes possible, then the best athletes need to play the game. And so me as a white person, I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, you're depriving white athletes of opportunity to play on Alabama's football team. It's not fair. You're discriminating based on race. Oh, my skin color. Oh. Because I do believe in meritocracy, I say let the black kids dominate the team. We don't need a diversity, equity, and inclusion mandate to make sure black people can play on sports teams. It turns out we just let them go to practice, see who's the best players. Oh, wow, it turns out most of them are black. Okay, cool, let them play. Now, the problem is this doesn't apply, even though it should. Meritocracy should apply everywhere in America because allegedly that's what our country is based upon, being a colorblind meritocracy. If you ask Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Dennis Prager, all the other mainstream conservatives, Matt Walsh, and so on, they'll tell you that aspirationally, America's North Star has always been and should be a populist, colorblind meritocracy, working class populism, best man for the job, and that's the reason DEI is so bad, because it is the opposite of meritocracy. It puts people in places, it gives them roles in companies, it gives them admissions into schools, it gives them school scholarships, it gives them federal grants from the government, like black-owned businesses, women's businesses, Latino businesses, and so on. It ignores meritocracy and says, well, what's actually more important is your skin color, or your gender, or who you sleep with. So I would be fine with Alabama's football team being majority black and the NFL being majority black and so on and so forth, based on meritocracy, if we allowed meritocracy to be the law of the land everywhere. But we don't. We don't allow that in the corporate culture. We don't allow that in the government. We don't allow that in education. It seems like we only allow meritocracy to exist in sports, the one thing that black people excel at. More so than others, I would say. Black people are also good at making good music. They're good at making good comedy. They're good at some types of food. So, I mean, there's things to praise about the black community and their culture. It's not like I hate black people and can't find any positive things about them. That's not true. It's not true about any of the races. They all have unique attributes that are enjoyable in certain circumstances. Now, just because they have unique attributes that are enjoyable doesn't mean that those things outweigh all the costs associated with implementing their culture within America. That obviously doesn't. That equation does not balance anywhere near, unfortunately. But that's a very long discussion about welfare benefits, crime, racial grievance, the cost of all of these lawsuits in the government, in the corporations, in the school system, all of the wasted time, productivity, and finances devoted to trying to equalize outcomes of racial groups, which is impossible because the racial groups do not perform at the same level. Look at the sports I just explained. That's obviously true. But somehow we all want to naively think that you can selectively apply meritocracy and then override it with DEI in certain ways, basically so that in any institution, white people always lose. In sports, we're going to say, yeah, meritocracy, just base it on meritocracy. Oh, sorry, white guys, you're not the best. Can't have those spots. And then in the corporate world, education, and in the government, you say, not so much meritocracy. White people were killing it. And objectively, they have higher IQs and they have objectively higher education standards and education achievements and objectively higher contributions to the economy, a net positive $200,000 per individual, whereas minorities, blacks have minus 500,000 and Hispanics have minus 700,000 per individual over the course of a lifetime economic contribution to the United States. Don't look at any of that. Just look at their skin color and say, oh, there's not enough Mexicans in this one slice of America. Not enough black people in this slice of America, the government, or in the C-suite class of the corporate world. Not enough main black actors in movies, despite them only being 13% of the country. So if we're trying to depict reality, you expect to see them in 1 out of 10 roles, 1 out of 9 roles. No, it's more like 50%. It's more like we got to get white people down to maybe 1 out of 10 characters, 2 out of 10 characters. Then we'll be depicting white people are actually still 6 out of 10 people in this country. And once we reassume our rightful ownership of this country, we're going to get that number back to 8 or 9 out of 10. That's another long story. Don't have time for that during happy hour. You got to watch my stream if you want to know about correcting America's racial demographics. So that story from the Birmingham mayor is just illustrative of this selective enforcement of meritocracy and its polar opposite, diversity, equity, and inclusion. They pick and choose which one to apply in different institutions based on, does this benefit minorities more than whites? Whichever outcome benefits minorities more than whites, that's what's going to apply. In the sports world, as I already said several times, but just to hammer this home, they say, yeah, it's all about just meritocracy. We don't need diversity and all this other stuff. Just let the boys play, and whoever plays the best, that's who gets the starting role on the team. And then they say, whoa, just because the white people continue to score better on education standards, math and reading and so on, yeah, we really don't need to look at that when we're putting people in schools. We need to ignore that, and we don't need to look at those factors when it comes to filling out the corporate world's employees in the Ivy League schools, especially, who go on to occupy the majority of the roles in the government and the C-suite in the corporate world and Wall Street. Let's not look at meritocracy for that. Let's look at the skin color for that. Oh, who do they sleep with? Do they happen to sleep with the same sex? Are they transgender? Because that would really be a big boon to our corporate image if we could get some multiracial transgenders and homosexuals and lesbians. Yes, I know lesbians are homosexuals, but you get the point. Any kind of sexual deviancy and any kind of non-white skin color is what is preferred. So that was just yet another example of the ludicrousness, the selective enforcement of DEI and all that. What was the other story that I had to type 2,000 words about? Oh, Google's AI. Yeah, so you've probably seen this. You've seen the memes this week. Google's AI, I think it's called Gemini. People were asking it questions about history. You know, show me the founding fathers, show me the British Empire's leaders, and so on. And it would basically refuse to show them white characters in history. It would repaint those characters as black or some other non-white group. And it was just egregious. It's doing this in virtually every historical question it was asked. It would provide some completely false depiction of these historical people. And this was observed pretty quickly and was mocked and ridiculed all over Twitter, all over Instagram. Fox News is writing articles about it. Even CNN, all the mainstream people are writing articles. Now, of course, the way the articles show up in the headlines are different. Fox, because this is what you would expect of a Republican conservative outlet, they say it like it is. They say Google AI app refuses to show white historical figures. They call out the fact that this is an anti-white design by Google. The same article on CNN says something more like Google's AI engine criticized for historical inaccuracies. Oh, well, what kind of historical inaccuracies? No, they're not going to put that in the headline. They don't want people who are pulling up CNN every day just to, get a quick check on the news, a quick pulse. They don't want them seeing headlines that say, hey, white people are under attack. White people's history is being rewritten by the largest corporations in America, the people who control thought. And I mean literally control thought. Very, very simple analysis to do here, guys. Google, who also owns YouTube. This is the company who controls like 90% of all search engine traffic that happens in the United States. When you need to know something, where do you go? You go to Google, you go to YouTube. You type in the question, tell me about the founding fathers, tell me about the British Empire, tell me about the English Empire, tell me about the Roman Empire, go on, so forth. These are the companies you entrust to give you accurate information about history, about the present. And this is what happens when you turn over control to people who hate white people. Who runs Google, which owns YouTube? Couple of Jewish guys. Who owns Facebook, which owns Instagram? Mark Zuckerberg, Goldmanstein. Wow. I shared the video earlier this week of the meeting of the Jewish, I don't even know the name of it. It's in the video. I can't recall it off the top of my head, but it's like a conference where the Jewish lobbying censorship group comes together, and it's dozens of them, and they talk about how to proactively monitor Wikipedia for any articles that reference Jewish people, Jewish history, the wars that involve Jewish people, and make sure all of those articles on Wikipedia that discuss Jewish people are portrayed in a pro-Zionist light. And this is in their own words. This isn't like investigative journalism eavesdropping on them. This is them bragging, saying, here we are at the annual conference where we talk about Wikipedia management on Zionism, and they just outright say it. They let the whole world know, yeah, we control what's on Wikipedia. Yeah, we control what's on Google. What search results come back and get bubbled to the top whenever you search for something? Yeah, Jews control that. Whether it's Google, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. So I had to write, like I said, a couple thousand words about this, posted it on my Facebook. It's really better for a Substack, but maybe I'll move it over there. But I think I actually want to get a teleprompter and record this video a little bit more professionally with an exact script. You know, I honestly like going off the cuff exactly like I am now. I'm getting a heat warning on my camera because it's sitting up on the dashboard, which is in the sun. That's probably not ideal. Looks like we're going to have to cut this episode short, you guys. My camera is saying it's probably going to die any minute, or it's going to go into safety mode because it's getting hot. So, actually, maybe if I turn this off. Oops. Yeah, that wasn't the right thing to do. I was thinking I could turn the monitor off and let the camera keep going, which actually I think I can do. If I do that, now it's not on anymore. It's just a background on my phone. Maybe that'll keep the camera from overheating. But it has drained like 30% battery in about 30 minutes of me recording. So that's a good thing for me to know. But as I was saying, I've been thinking about getting a teleprompter. That way I can record eye contact, scripted content, because that's like the good stuff. And when you watch Tucker Carlson, whenever you watch any polished mainstream production, they don't memorize their lines. They don't memorize a 10-minute long dialogue. You guys know this. Whenever you watch a presidential speech or something like that, they have teleprompters. So you might think like, wow, these people are so eloquent, so well-spoken. It's true that they practice this and they talk to their writers beforehand and make sure they know what words to emphasize and how to change the inflection of their voice to emphasize certain sentences and whatnot. But having a teleprompter is a nice little tool to have in the arsenal of production gadgets. So I would like to have one. There's several different ways you can do that. There's a lot of stuff on my wish list, you guys. I need a gimbal. I need a field monitor, which is like a little 5-inch monitor that you attach to your camera. So when you're doing walking around content, your video is stabilized and it's not jerking around everywhere. So I need a gimbal, which is what does that. I need a field monitor, which is what gives you like a nice 5-inch preview of what you're filming, so you can make sure everything. Otherwise, you're looking at this little like 1-inch square on the back of the camera. Not 1 inch, it's like 2-inch square on the back of the camera, which is better than nothing, but ideally you can see it on a nice 5-inch screen. For my documentary content, that's what that's for. I'd like to have a nicer mic for the house. There's a lot of stuff on my wish list. Now, I don't need any of it, honestly. Like, the production quality is already leaps and bounds better than it was 6 months ago. This beautiful Sony a6100 camera, I got it on the used market. It's not like a super expensive camera. Most people consider it an entry-level camera. Now, what does help is getting a nice lens on it. Or, not even nice, like this is a $30 lens. But what you guys will notice, why this video looks so good, is all this stuff in the background is glossed over, blurry, but it's like smooth also. That's what comes from having a low aperture on your lens. In this case, it's a 1.8 aperture on this. I think it's a 25 millimeter is the focal length of this lens, but it's a like I said, I got it for $30 on the internet. It's like $70 on eBay. I think brand new it might be $100. And so different lenses are good for different settings. Oh, there it goes.